Good morning, fam. Coach Nate here. If you wake up with stiffness in your back, hips, or shoulders, this 20-minute full body stretch is exactly what you need. This routine is for anyone who wants to move better, feel looser, and start the day with energy. You don't need any equipment, just your mat and your breath. Today, we'll flow through spinal mobility drills, hip openers, and full body activations to reset your body and mind. I promise by the end of the session, you'll feel lighter, looser, and more in control of your movement. Most people hit snooze and skip movement altogether, but not you. You're here, and that already puts you ahead. Let's hit the mat. We're starting with child's pose, a deep lower back and hip release. Sit back on your heels, extend your arms forward, press your chest toward the mat, relaxing your hips and lower back. Breathe deeply, feeling your rib cage expand with each inhale. This stretch relieves lower back tension, stretches the hips, spine, and shoulders, encouraging deep breathing and relaxation. Beginners, keep the knees closer together for more support. Advanced stretches, widen your knees and sink deeper into the stretch. Now we're moving into Sphinx pose to gently activate the spine. Sphinx pose is a gentle back extension. Lie face down with your forearms flat and elbows under your shoulders. Press through your forearms and lift your chest, engaging your lower back. Hold for 1 minute, keeping your breath slow and controlled. This stretch gently opens up the chest and strengthens the lower back, improves posture and counteracts hunched shoulders. And let's not forget, it increases spinal flexibility. Beginners, keep your elbows slightly wider if this feels too intense. Advanced stretches, press into your palms for a deeper stretch, lifting your chest higher. Now, let's lengthen the spine even more with puppy stretch. Puppy stretch is a great shoulder and upper back opener. From all fours, walk your hands forward and lower your chest toward the mat, keeping your hips stacked over your knees and arms extended forward. Hold for 1 minute, breathing deeply into the stretch. This stretch will open up the shoulders and thoracic spine, reducing upper back stiffness and enhancing postural alignment. Beginners, rest your forehead on the mat for extra support. Advanced stretches, lift your chin slightly for a deeper stretch. Now let's shift to the spine and flow through cat-cow to mobilize the spine. Start on all fours, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Inhale, arch your back, lift your head and tailbone, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, tucking your chin and pelvis, cat pose. Flow between these movements for 1 minute, syncing breath with motion. This stretch improves spinal mobility and flexibility, enhances core control and posture, warms up the back and the neck. Beginners, move slowly and keep the range small. Advanced stretches increase the depth of each movement. Let's extend the spine further with cobra stretch. Eye face down with your hands under your shoulders. Press into your palms, lifting your chest off the ground. Keep your elbows slightly bent and shoulders relaxed. Hold for 1 minute, breathing into the stretch. This stretch strengthens the lower back and opens the chest, improves spinal flexibility and posture, relieves compression in the lower back. Beginners, keep your forearms on the mat, meaning go back into Sphinx pose. Advanced stretches, fully extend your arms and lift higher. Now, let's transition into downward dog. Downward dog is a full body lengthener. Start in a high plank, then push up your hips up and back. Keep your arms straight and your heels reaching toward the floor. Hold for 1 minute, paddling your heels. This stretch will stretch your hamstrings, calves and shoulders, strengthening the upper body and core, improving circulation and posture. Beginners, keep your knees slightly bent if hamstrings feel tight. Advanced stretches, press your heels to the floor for a deeper stretch. Now, let's flow between Cobra and Downward Dog. Start in Downward Dog, then shift forward into Cobra pose. Keep your elbows soft and lift your chest in Cobra. Flow back and forth for 1 minute, a sinking breath with movement. This stretch loosens the spine, shoulders and hips, builds upper body and core strength. I'm sure you can feel it. And let's not forget, it enhances mobility and flexibility at the same time. Beginners, feel free to move slower and keep your knees on the floor. Advanced stretches flow deeper into each position. Now, let's work on core activation with Bird Dog. Time to work on core and balance activation. Start on all fours, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Extend your right arm forward and left leg back. Hold for a few seconds, then return to the start. Repeat for 30 seconds, keeping your core engaged. The stretch improves core strength and stability, strengthens the lower back and glutes, enhances balance and coordination. Beginners, keep your toes on the ground for balance. Advanced stretches, hold each rep for 5 seconds for more control. Now, let's switch sides to balance the body. Extend your left arm forward and right leg back. Engage your core to stay stable. Repeat for 30 seconds, moving with control. And again, fam, let's not forget the stretch strengthens the core and lower back, improving hip mobility, posture, and supports spinal alignment. Beginners, feel free to keep your knees close to the ground for balance. Advanced stretches, add a crunch, bringing your knee to elbow. Now, let's stretch the upper back with thread the needle, one of my favorite. This is a fantastic upper back and shoulder stretch. From all fours, reach your right arm under your left arm. Rest your shoulder and head to the mat. Hold for 1 minute, breathing into the stretch. This stretch relieves upper back and shoulder tightness, improves thoracic spine mobility, and releases built-up tension from poor posture. Beginners, keep the hips high for more support. Advanced stretches, extend your left arm forward for a deeper stretch. Now, let's switch to the left side for balance. Opposite side now. Reach your left arm under your right arm, resting on your shoulders. Keep your hips stable, allowing a gentle spinal twist. Hold for 1 minute, breathing deeply. This stretch stretches the upper back, shoulders, and spine. Improves mobility in the thoracic region. Releases tension from sitting and hunching. Beginners, keep your right hand grounded for extra support. Advanced stretches, extend your right arm forward for a deeper stretch. Now, let's open up the hips with the low lunge flow. Step your right foot forward, lowering into a deep lunge. Slowly rock forward and back, stretching the hip flexor. Flow gently for 1 minute, breathing into the movement. This stretch releases hip flexor tension, improves hip mobility and range of motion. And let's not forget that it prepares your body for movement, the most essential part. Beginners, keep your hands on your knee for balance. Advanced stretches, raise your arms overhead to deepen the stretch. Let's switch to the left side. Opposite side stretch. Step your left foot forward, lowering into a deep lunge. Move forward and back, opening up the hip. Continue for 1 minute, breathing deeply. This stretch balances hip flexibility on both sides, improves hip and quad mobility, helps reduce lower back tightness. Beginners, let's do the same modifications as the right side. Keep hands on your thighs for a gentler stretch. Advanced stretches, you know what to do. You can raise those arms up overhead. Now, let's move into pigeon pose for a deep hip opener. Pigeon pose is a deep hip opener and fantastic for stretching the glutes. From a low lunge, slide your right knee forward and your right foot towards your left hand. Keep your left leg extended back and hips square. Rest your forearms on the mat or fully extend your upper body forward for a deeper stretch. Hold for 1 minute, breathing deeply. This stretch opens tight hip flexors and glutes, relieves lower back stiffness, and helps counteract prolonged sitting. Beginners, place a block or cushion under your right hip for support. Advanced stretches, reach your arms forward and lower your chest to the ground. Now, let's switch sides to balance out the stretch. Beginners, bring your left knee forward, placing your shin at an angle in front of you. Advanced stretches, keep your right leg extended back and square the hips. Slowly lower into the pose, resting your forearms and forehead on the mat. Hold for 1 minute, focusing on controlled breathing. This stretch improves hip flexibility and glute mobility, enhances spinal alignment and posture, and relieves lower back compression. I bet you're gonna enjoy that. Beginners, place a pillow under your left hip for support. Advanced stretches, try adding good mornings by lowering your chest down to the mat and bringing back up. Now, let's move into a deep spinal twist with the low lunge twist. This is great for your hips and great for spinal rotation. Start in a low lunge with your right foot forward. Place your left hand on the ground and twist your torso to the right, reaching your right arm toward the sky. Hold for 1 minute, focusing on lengthening through the spine. This stretch improves hip flexibility and rotation, strengthens the core and stabilizes, and enhances spinal mobility. Beginners, keep your bottom hand on a block for support. Advanced stretches, lift your back knee for a deeper stretch. Now, let's switch to the left side for balance. Step your left foot forward into a low lunge, place your right hand on the floor and twist your torso to the left, reaching your left arm toward the sky. Hold for 1 minute, deepening the twist with each breath. This stretch strengthens spinal rotation and core, strengthens the hip flexors and chest, improves postural alignment. Beginners, keep your back knee down for stability. Advanced stretches, lift your back knee and deepen the twist. Kneeling hip sit-ups are great for strengthening your hip flexors and building core strength. Kneel with your feet flat behind you and hands resting on your thighs or hips. Slowly lower your glutes to your heels, then engage your glutes and core to lift back up. Repeat for 1 minute, moving with control. This stretch strengthens hip flexors, glutes, and quads, improves hip mobility, and enhances core control. Beginners, place a block between your feet for extra support. Advanced stretches, hold a light weight at your chest. Let's loosen up the hips with dynamic rotations. Stay in a kneeling position, keeping your core engaged. Slowly return your hips in a half circle motion, shifting weight side to side. Continue both directions for 1 minute, feeling the hip mobility increase. Beginners, mobilize the hip joints and pelvis. Advanced stretches, release tension from prolonged sitting. This stretch is going to mobilize the hip joints and pelvis, release tension from prolonged sitting, and improve your lower back flexibility. Beginners, keep movement small and controlled. Advanced stretches, try increasing the range of motion. Now, let's expand this into a full range with full hula hoops. Start in kneeling upright with your hands on your hips or thighs. Rotate your hips in full circular motions, engaging your core. Move clockwise for 30 seconds, then counterclockwise for 30 seconds. This stretch is going to promote hip and spinal mobility just like on the other side. It's engaging your core and lower back, as well as encouraging fluid movement and coordination. Beginners keep the movement slow and controlled. Advanced stretches increase the speed and depth of motion. Right there fam, you've completed a spinal mobility and hip opening routine. Stay strong, flexible, and powerful. I'll see you in the next session. Let's go.